Selena's hands were shaking as she stood before the biggest house she had ever seen. The mansion looked like a palace from a fairy tale, with white marble steps that sparkled in the morning sun and golden doors that seemed to touch the sky. But something felt wrong. Very wrong. The other maids who passed by her didn't smile. They didn't even look at her. They walked with their heads down, like shadows moving to the morning light. Their faces were pale and tired, and they moved so quietly that Selena could barely hear their footsteps. Why is everyone so scared? Selena whispered to herself. She was about to find out. An older woman with gray hair and kind eyes opened the door. "You must be Selena," she said softly. "I'm Agnes. I've worked here for 15 years. Come inside quickly before she sees you standing there." "Before who sees me?" Selena asked. Agnes's face went white. "Mrs. Claudia," she whispered, looking around nervously. "The lady of the house. Just do everything perfectly, dear. Don't make any mistakes. Not even one." Selena followed Agnes through the mansion. The floors were so shiny that Selena could see her reflection in them. Beautiful paintings hung on every wall. Crystal lights dangled from the ceiling like frozen waterfalls. Everything was perfect, too perfect. But the maids looked like frightened birds. In the kitchen, 3 other maids were working. They moved fast, their hands trembling as they cleaned and polished and arranged things just so. No one talked. No one laughed. The only sounds were the soft clink of dishes and the tick-tock of the big clock on the wall. Why is everyone so quiet? Selena asked Agnes. Before Agnes could answer, a sound echoed through the mansion. Click-clack, click-clack, click-clack. High heels on marble floor. Every maid in the kitchen froze. One girl dropped her cloth. Another's eyes filled with tears. "She's coming," Agnes breathed. "Stand straight. Don't look at her unless she speaks to you. And whatever you do, don't cry in front of her. It makes her angrier." The footsteps got louder. Click-clack, click-clack, click-clack. Then she appeared. Claudia wore a bright red dress that looked like fire. Her black hair was pulled back, so tight it made her face look hard and mean. Her eyes were cold, like chips of ice. She had rings on every finger that sparkled when she moved, and her lips were painted the same red as her dress. She looked beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Claudia's eyes swept across the kitchen, like a hawk looking for prey. Every maid held their breath. "Agnes!" Claudia's voice was sharp as broken glass. "Why is there a water spot on the hallway mirror?" Agnes's whole body started shaking. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I cleaned it this morning, but nothing." Claudia's voice cracked like a whip. 15 years you've worked here, and you still can't clean a simple mirror? Are you stupid? Are your eyes broken? Or are you just lazy? Selena's mouth dropped open. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Agnes was old enough to be someone's grandmother, and Claudia was talking to her like she was dirt on the bottom of her shoe. "I'll fix it right now, ma'am," Agnes said quietly, her voice barely a whisper. "You'll do more than fix it," Claudia hissed. "You'll clean every mirror in this house. Every single one. And if I find even one tiny spot, you won't get paid this week. Do you understand?" Agnes nodded, and Selena saw a tear slide down her cheek. "And who is this?" Claudia's cold eyes turned to Selena. Selena's heart hammered in her chest, but she stood up straight. "I'm Selena, ma'am, the new maid." Claudia looked her up and down like she was inspecting a broken toy. "New, are you? Well, let me make something very clear. In this house, you do exactly what I say, exactly when I say it. If you make a mistake, there are consequences. If you talk back, you're fired. If you're slow, you're fired. If I don't like the way you look at me, you're fired. Do you understand?" "Yes, ma'am," Selena said, but inside, her blood was boiling. Claudia smiled, but it wasn't a nice smile. It was the smile of a cat playing with a mouse. "Good. We'll see how long you last. Most new maids quit within a week. They can't handle real work." She turned to leave, her red dress swirling around her like a cape. Click-clack, click-clack, click-clack. The sound faded down the hallway. As soon as she was gone, Every maid let out a breath. One girl started crying softly. Another ran to the bathroom. Selina turned to Agnes. Does she always talk to you like that? Agnes wiped her eyes quickly. That was a good day, she whispered. Sometimes it's much worse. Come on, I'll show you what to do. And remember, dear, keep your head down and your mouth shut. That's how you survive here. But as Selina followed Agnes through the mansion, cleaning and dusting and polishing, she couldn't stop thinking about what she'd seen. Agnes was kind. She was hard-working. She didn't deserve to be treated like that. None of them did. Later that afternoon, Selina was dusting the grand staircase when she heard crying. She followed the sound to a small room where they kept the cleaning supplies. Inside, Agnes was sitting on a bucket, her face in her hands, sobbing quietly. Agnes! Selina knelt down beside her. Are you okay? Agnes looked up, her eyes red and puffy. I'm sorry, dear. I shouldn't cry. It's just, I have a grandson, Daniel. He's only 7 years old. His parents died in a car accident 2 years ago, and I'm all he has. He needs food and clothes and medicine. I can't lose this job. I can't. Selina felt her heart break into 1,000 pieces. But she's so mean to you. I know, Agnes whispered. But what choice do I have? If I stand up to her, she'll fire me. If I quit, Daniel will have nothing. So I stay. I let her yell at me. I let her treat me like garbage. Because at the end of the week, I get my money and I can buy food for my grandson. Agnes grabbed Selina's hand. Promise me you'll be careful. You have fire in your eyes, dear. I can see it. But that fire will get you in trouble here. Mrs. Claudia breaks people like you. She enjoys it. Please, just do your work and stay quiet. Selina nodded, but inside, something was changing. She thought about Agnes's grandson Daniel, waiting at home for his grandmother. She thought about all the other maids, too scared to even smile. She thought about Claudia's cold eyes and cruel words. And she made a decision that would change everything. But she didn't tell Agnes. Not yet. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stand up when everyone else is too afraid to move. And Selina was about to do exactly that. 2 weeks passed, and every day was the same nightmare. Selina watched Claudia destroy people with her words. It wasn't just yelling. It was worse. Much worse. Claudia had a special talent for finding what hurt the most. She called one maid stupid so many times that the poor girl started believing it. She told another maid that her daughter would be ashamed of her. She made fun of Agnes's shaking hands, even though Agnes's hands shook because she was old and tired. And every time, the maids just took it. They bowed their heads. They said, yes, ma'am, and sorry, ma'am, and went back to work with tears in their eyes. Selina felt like she was going to explode. How can they just accept this? She asked herself every night. But then she remembered Daniel. She remembered all the families depending on these women. She remembered that jobs were hard to find, and these maids had nowhere else to go. So Selina stayed quiet. She cleaned perfectly. She spoke only when spoken to. She became invisible, just like all the others. But inside, anger was growing like a storm cloud, getting darker and bigger every day. Then came the dinner party. Tonight is very important, Claudia announced that morning, her red heels clicking on the marble floor. My husband's business partners are coming. Everything must be absolutely perfect. Not good, not great, perfect. Do you understand? Yes, ma'am, all the maids said together. If anything goes wrong tonight, Claudia continued, her eyes glittering dangerously, I will fire all of you, every single one. And I'll make sure no other rich family in this city will hire you. Selina felt sick to her stomach. Claudia was threatening to destroy their lives over a dinner party. The maids worked harder than ever. They polished the silverware until it gleamed like stars. They arranged flowers in beautiful vases. They cooked food that smelled like heaven. They set the long dining table with such care that everything looked like a picture from a fancy magazine. But Claudia found problems everywhere. These napkins are folded wrong, she shrieked at Maria, the youngest maid. The flowers are wilting, she screamed at poor old Agnes, even though the flowers were fresh and perfect. "This floor has a smudge," she yelled at Selena, pointing at a spot so tiny that Selena couldn't even see it. By afternoon, the entire mansion felt like it was holding its breath. The maids were exhausted and terrified. Their hands shook as they worked. Some were crying silently as they cleaned. Selena found Agnes in the pantry again, sitting on a box of supplies. Her face was buried in her apron, and her whole body was shaking with sobs. "Agnes, please don't cry," Selena said gently, sitting beside her. "I can't do this anymore," Agnes whispered. "I just can't. I'm 70 years old. Selena, 70. And she treats me like I'm nothing, like I'm garbage. Today she called me worthless." Worthless? After 15 years of cleaning her house, cooking her food, washing her clothes? Agnes looked up, and Selena saw something she'd never seen before. Agnes wasn't just sad. She was broken. "But I need this job," Agnes continued, her voice cracking. "Little Daniel needs new shoes. He's growing so fast. And winter is coming. He needs a warm coat. I can't quit. I can't stand up to her. I'm too old, too tired, too scared." Selena took Agnes's wrinkled hand in her young, strong one. "You're not worthless. You're one of the kindest, hardest-working people I've ever met. Then why does she hate us so much?" Agnes asked. Selena didn't have an answer. She just held Agnes's hand and felt that storm inside her growing bigger and bigger and bigger. At 6 o'clock, the dinner party was about to begin. The maids lined up in the kitchen, waiting for final orders. They all looked exhausted and defeated. Claudia swept in wearing an even brighter red dress, her jewelry sparkling like fire. She walked down the line, inspecting each maid like a general inspecting soldiers. She stopped in front of a young maid named Rosa. "Your hair is messy." Rosa's hand flew to her hair. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I'll fix it." "Too late," Claudia snapped. "You'll stay in the kitchen. I won't have you embarrassing me in front of my guests." Rosa's eyes filled with tears, but she nodded. Claudia moved to the next maid, then the next, finding something wrong with each one. When she reached Agnes, she wrinkled her nose like she smelled something bad. "Agnes, you look old and tired. Stay out of sight. I don't want my guests seeing this." She waved her hand at Agnes like she was shooing away a fly. Selena felt something snap inside her chest. It was like a rope that had been pulled tighter and tighter and finally broke. Then Claudia turned to Selena. She looked her up and down with those cold, mean eyes. "And you," Claudia said, "the new girl. You think you're special, don't you? I've seen the way you look at me, like you're judging me, like you're better than me." Selena's heart was pounding so hard she could hear in her ears. Every other maid in the room was staring at the floor, too afraid to even breathe. "Well, let me tell you something," Claudia continued, stepping closer until Selena could smell her expensive perfume. "You're not special. You're nothing. Just another servant who should be grateful I even let you work in my beautiful home. Now bow your head and say, 'Yes, ma'am,' like a good little maid." Silence filled the kitchen like thick fog. Everyone waited for Selena to do what they all did. Bow her head. Say, "Yes, ma'am." Accept the cruelty. But Selena didn't bow her head. Instead, she looked Claudia straight in the eye. Her voice was quiet but strong. "No, ma'am." The kitchen went so silent you could hear a pin drop. Agnes gasped. Rosa's mouth fell open. Even Claudia looked shocked, like she couldn't believe what she just heard. "What did you say?" Claudia's voice was dangerous and low. Selena's hand was shaking, but she didn't look away. She thought about Agnes crying in the pantry. She thought about little Daniel waiting for his grandmother. She thought about all these good, kind women who were treated like trash every single day. And she found her courage. "I said no," Selena repeated, louder this time. "I won't bow my head. I won't pretend that the way you treat people is okay." Claudia's face turned red, then purple. "How dare you?" she shrieked. "Do you know who I am? I could destroy you. I could make sure you never work in this city again." "Maybe," Selena said, her voice steady even though her heart was racing like a rabbit's. "But that doesn't give you the right to be cruel. These women work so hard for you. They clean your house until it shines. They cook your food. They make your life comfortable. And all you do is yell at them and call them names and make them feel small. They're servants, Claudia screamed. That's their job. Their job is to clean and cook, Selena shot back. Their job is not to be your punching bag. Their job is not to let you be mean to them just because you're rich and they're not. The other maids were frozen like statues. No one had ever talked to Claudia like this. No one had ever been brave enough. Claudia's eyes were blazing with fury. You're fired. Pack your things and get out of my house right now. Fine, Selena said, even though her stomach was twisting with fear. I'll leave, but I'm not sorry for what I said, because it's the truth. She turned to walk away, her head held high even though tears were burning in her eyes. She'd lost her job. She'd have to tell her mother. She'd have to find a new way to help her family. But she'd done the right thing. She knew it in her heart. Then something amazing happened. A voice, shaky but clear, called out from behind her. Wait, it was Agnes. Everyone turned to look at Agnes. The old woman was standing up straight for the first time in weeks. Her hands were still shaking, but her eyes were different. They weren't scared anymore. They were angry. Agnes, sit down, Claudia hissed. This doesn't concern you. Yes, it does, Agnes said, her voice getting stronger with each word. It concerns all of us. For 15 years, I've cleaned your floors. I've cooked your meals. I've washed your clothes and dusted your furniture. And for 15 years, you've treated me like I'm nothing. Claudia's mouth opened, but Agnes kept talking. I have a grandson named Daniel. He's 7 years old. His favorite color is blue. He loves dinosaurs. He wants to be a scientist when he grows up. Agnes's voice cracked, but she didn't stop. Every day, I come here and let you yell at me. I let you call me stupid and worthless and lazy. And you know why I do it? Because I need money to feed Daniel, to buy him shoes, to keep him warm. Tears were streaming down Agnes's face now, but she stood tall. But Selena is right, Agnes continued. Needing this job doesn't mean we deserve to be treated like garbage. We're human beings. We have families. We have feelings. We deserve respect. Claudia looked like she'd been slapped. How dare you? No! Agnes interrupted, and everyone gasped. Agnes had never interrupted Claudia before. Ever. How dare you? You have everything. A beautiful house. More money than you could spend in 10 lifetimes. A husband who loves you. And still you're mean. Still, you hurt people just because you can. Something magical was happening. The other maids were standing up straighter. Their eyes were opening wider. It was like Agnes's courage was spreading through the room like warm sunshine. Maria, the young maid, stepped forward. Her voice was quiet but brave. Mrs. Claudia, you made me cry every day this week. You told me I was stupid so many times that I started believing it. But I'm not stupid. I'm learning to read. I'm teaching myself English. I'm working hard to make a better life. Rosa spoke next, her chin lifted high. You made fun of my accent. You said I sound like a country mouse. But I'm proud of where I come from. My mother and father worked on a farm their whole lives. They taught me that hard work is honorable. And I work hard every single day for you. One by one, the maids found their voices. The quiet ones became loud. The scared ones became brave. Years and years of hurt and anger came pouring out like a river that had finally broken through a dam. Claudia was looking around wildly, her face getting redder and redder. Stop this right now. All of you are fired. Get out of my house. Is that what's happening here? Everyone froze. A new voice had joined the conversation. A deep, calm voice that came from the doorway. Mr. Harrington had arrived. He was a tall man with gray hair and kind eyes that looked just like his father's must have looked. He wore an expensive suit, but his face was tired, like he'd had a very long day. He walked into the kitchen slowly, looking at each person carefully. Charles. Claudia's voice changed completely. Suddenly she sounded sweet, like honey. Darling, these maids are being disrespectful. I was just about to... I heard everything, Mr. Harrington said quietly. He looked at Selina. You're the new maid? Selina? Selina nodded, her heart hammering. Was he going to yell at her too? Tell me, Mr. Harrington said gently. What happened here? Selina took a deep breath. She could lie. She could say nothing. But she'd already come this far. Your wife has been very cruel to the staff, sir, Selina said respectfully but firmly. She yells at them for tiny mistakes. She calls them names. She threatens to fire them almost every day. These women work so hard to make your home beautiful, but they're treated with no kindness or respect. She's lying, Claudia shrieked. She's a troublemaker. I want her arrested. But Mr. Harrington held up his hand. Agnes, he said, turning to the old woman, you've worked here since before Claudia and I got married. 15 years, is that right? Yes, sir, Agnes said quietly. Has my wife been treating you this way for all 15 years? Agnes looked at Claudia, then at the floor, then back at Mr. Harrington. Yes, sir. Mr. Harrington's face grew sad and serious. He turned to his wife. Claudia, is this true? They're exaggerating, Claudia said, but her voice wasn't so confident anymore. They're being too sensitive. I just expect excellence. Is that a crime? There's a difference between expecting excellence and being cruel, Mr. Harrington said. These women are not your slaves. They're employees. They deserve to be treated with basic human dignity. But No, Mr. Harrington said firmly. I've been working long hours. I've been traveling for business. I haven't been home enough. And I'm sorry for that, because if I had been here, I would have stopped this a long time ago. He turned to face all the maids. I apologize to each of you. You should never have been treated this way. Not in my home. Not anywhere. The maids looked at each other in shock. A millionaire was apologizing to them? Mr. Harrington looked at Claudia. His voice was hard now, like steel. Starting today, things will change. You will treat the staff with respect, or you will no longer be in charge of managing this household. Claudia's face went white. You can't. I can and I will, Mr. Harrington said. This is my house, too, and I will not allow cruelty here. Not from anyone. Not even from my own wife. The kitchen was so quiet you could hear everyone breathing. Then Mr. Harrington turned to Selina. You stood up when no one else could. That takes real courage. Your job is safe. In fact, I'm giving you a raise. And Agnes, he continued, I'm also giving you a raise. And an extra week of paid vacation, so you can spend more time with your grandson. Agnes burst into tears. But this time they were happy tears. Mr. Harrington looked at all the maids. From now on, if anyone treats you unfairly, you come directly to me. You have my word that things will be different. Claudia stood there, her red dress suddenly looking less bright, her face pale with shock. For the first time since Selina had met her, Claudia had nothing to say. The dinner party still happened that night, but everything was different. The maids worked together, but now they were smiling. They talked quietly as they served. And when Agnes passed by Selina, she squeezed her hand and whispered, "Thank you." After the guests left and the kitchen was clean, Selina walked outside into the garden. The stars were shining bright in the dark sky. She thought about everything that had happened. She'd been scared. She could have stayed quiet like everyone else. She could have just accepted that this was how things were. But she didn't. And because she found her courage, other people found theirs too. Agnes came out to the garden, moving slowly like she always did. But she was smiling, really smiling. "Daniel called me tonight," she said. "I told him that something wonderful happened today. I told him that sometimes, when you stand up for what's right, good things happen. Are you going to stay?" Selina asked. Agnes nodded. "Mr. Harrington is a good man. I think things really will change now. And you know what? I feel different. Lighter. Like I've been carrying a heavy bag for 15 years. And I finally put it down." They stood together in the quiet garden, watching the stars. "You did something brave today," Agnes said softly. "You reminded us that we matter, that our dignity matters. That no amount of money gives someone the right to be cruel. Selena smiled. She'd been so scared of losing her job, but she'd gained something much more valuable. She'd learned that sometimes one person's courage can light a fire in everyone else's heart, and that fire could change everything. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories about courage, kindness, and standing up for what's right. Drop a comment below and tell us, what would you have done in Selena's shoes? We read every single comment. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our next story. Remember, your voice matters. Your courage matters. And sometimes, standing up for what's right can change the whole world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.